Now, the slow pace of aid reaching Gaza is worsening the humanitarian situation in the city, while leaders are struggling with mediation efforts to remove hurdles to the flow of assistance to Gaza. Egypt's foreign ministry says Israeli truck inspection procedures are slowing down the prompt delivery of aid to the Gaza Strip. Egypt's foreign affairs spokesperson wrote on social media X, and I quote, "Egypt has not and will not spare any effort in implementing humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip. The strict Israeli measures hinder the flow of aid to the people of the Strip." Meanwhile, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a telephonic conversation with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. The two leaders discussed the current situation in West Asia and its implications for the region and the whole world. The Prime Minister reiterated India's long-standing and principled position on the Israel-Palestine issue. He also highlighted India's development partnership and humanitarian aid for the people of Palestine. Other nations are also calling on Israel to allow a humanitarian pause to allow aid to reach the civilians in Gaza. The United Arab Emirates, which was the first Gulf country to normalize relations with Israel in 2020, condemned the Israeli ground operations in the Palestinian Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, Qatar mediated negotiations between Israel and Hamas to de-escalate the fighting continued on Saturday. In the latest, Qatar's foreign ministry spokesperson was quoted by U.S. media saying that his country has no intentions to shut down the political bureau of Hamas in Doha of its October 7th attack. Qatar argued that it has been a critical channel of communication for talks on the hostage release and for efforts to de-escalate fighting between Hamas and Israel. The spokesperson said, and I quote, "As long as this channel is useful in creating peace, we have to have it. We cannot afford to lose it." He added, during this escalation, it is the only way that we are mediating the release of these hostages and for them to get back home to their families. Meanwhile, U.S. Republican presidential candidates, including frontrunner Donald Trump, expressed unwavering support for Israel, wiping out Palestinian Hamas militants. In a response to a deadly attack on Israel by Hamas, Israel tightened its blockade on the Strip. Internet connectivity in Gaza has fallen significantly since the start of the war, and even though cellular services have been reactivated in Gaza, the blockade presents an enormous challenge for civilians and aid workers and also restricts Israel's ability to communicate with Gazans. Fiber optic cables provide telecommunication technology to service providers, and these crucial cables pass through Israel. Israel has tight control over Gaza's internet infrastructure. Fiber optic cables that go into Gaza pass through Israel. Israel has also banned technology upgrades that would make connections more secure. Mobile internet providers in Gaza are hence limited to 2G. This is much slower than the 5G connection that most Israelis can get access to. Since the start of the current conflict, Israeli airstrikes have crippled Gaza's already fragile communications infrastructure. And after Israel's latest blockade, Gaza's only power plant has run out of fuel. As per reports, the hit to connectivity levels is greater than that in the early weeks of Ukraine's invasion. For some areas in Gaza, the internet will be offline, cellular data and home broadband will not work. In other areas, the internet will be usable but slow. Elon Musk has now said that SpaceX's Starlink will support communication links in Gaza, unlike fiber optics, which can be controlled physically. Global private satellite communications can now circumnavigate governmental intervention. Internet connections will be given to internationally recognized aid organizations. But Musk also said in a post on social media X that it was not clear who has authority for ground links in Gaza. He also said that no terminal has requested a connection in that area. Up ahead, Starlink's internet services are expected to be a decisive factor in connecting Gazans through the World Wide Web. And as per real-time network data, internet connectivity is being restored in the Gaza Strip. Several Palestinian media outlets are now reporting the resumption of telephone and internet services. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.